Today we are turning into a Nutcracker. I will have the kind of reference photo of what I used up in the left-hand corner. It was literally just a Nutcracker. I didn't look at someone else's bag of paint. I was looking at this one thing. I was like, this looks kind of cool. It's got a lot of designs and stuff. And of course, we're not doing full body paints, like it cuts off where the tube top is. But, we're working on it. I decided not to stream this time when I was body painting. I just kind of wanted to take it kind of easy while we got the holidays going on. So this is going to be kind of a hot mess of me kind of going back and forth, just enjoying my morning watching streams. So ignore all the jump cuts. I was taking my time. But here you'll see I'm using Made You Look cherry body paint. That's what I used all the red in. And then I'm using the NYX store-buy palette. I don't think this palette is even available anymore. I'm gonna be sad when that palette's gone. I mean, look at how loved that thing is. I have loved that palette. And I was using more colors from in there. And then I was trying to do it on my arms. I'm also using a mixture of Morphe, Ivy Roberts RC palette, which I think is in my lap this time. But there's a spot on my arm that just was not taking any color or blush. I don't know if it's like I have a bump or something there. It was not happy about it. But now I'm using Sunflower to kind of create all of the, I don't know what you want to call this, marching band like striping details, arm tassel things. That's what's gonna go in those shoulder pads. They're kind of shoulder pads, but also kind of not. And I decided this wasn't really on the Nutcracker that I was referencing, but I kind of decided just to do like this kind of like collared thing going on. And now I'm using a mixture of a bunch of burnt oranges and yellows to kind of create some depth in the shoulder pads, and then using Shamrock from Made You Look to go through and do all the green here. I didn't think this was actually deep enough of green for what the Nutcracker was, so I kind of go over it with a mixture of different greens from both the paints from Made You Look, the eyeshadows, the Ivy Roberts palette here that you can see now sitting next to me. If I was to do this look over again, how I did this green section would change, and I'll get into that in a second here. Right now I'm just kind of covering and trying to making this area look a little deeper with that green and a little bit of a lime color. But first we're going in with some black and then some darker green just to kind of create kind of like where the stuff kind of goes. I don't know what you call it, like the split in the shirt. Here I'm using white from NYX Cosmetics. This is just our white liquid liner. I think we're down to my last actual working tube. I'm going to get some more of this. I actually did this kind of off-centered as I went this way, and I didn't realize until later. I was looking at it, I'm like, I missed an entire corner that was supposed to line up perfectly. But I figured putting yellow directly onto the green was going to make it pop as well, so I wanted to go with this white here first. But it's what I did after that I would, if I was doing this over again, would not do. And you'll see it in just a moment. I put yellow eyeshadow on top of the white, like kind of how I normally do highlights and stuff like that. First I decided to touch up the hat that we got going on here and put some depth onto the yellow detailing around. But then I went just straight with yellow and I put that everywhere. And honestly, you can see here, it gets so muddy looking. I would not do that over again. I would just put the yellow body paint on top, and I actually ended up, after doing this, realized how bad that looked and took the green, went back over where the green was going to go. This is where I was like, if I just put green, it will fix it. It will look good again. And I mean, in the pictures, you can't tell that it got muddied there, which is great. But here's where I'm putting the yellow body paint, like, over top of it, just to kind of make it pop and kind of look how I wanted it to, which is how the Nutcracker looked. So that's what we're doing here. We're just going over everything and trying to make the yellow pop how it was supposed to. Which, again, if I was doing this over again, I would have just skipped the yellow all over and just used the body paint on top of the white liquid liner, because it already would have popped anyways if I had just done that. And then I just added a few little more swirls. And now I'm using white to kind of make highlights and whatnot everywhere around the shirt, just kind of make all the details kind of pop. These are supposed to be like the metal brackets. I don't know what anything's called, so excuse me if I call everything the wrong thing. And then they kind of have like this kind of like line texture going off the side, so I was trying to go do that. And then I put yellow over top because that's how I normally do highlights, and normally it works out great. As you can see here, it doesn't create any muddy type of thing, but it did on the green. So that's what we're doing. And then we're going to start working on our shoulder pads here. So I kind of try to make this, he's got like little knobs and whatnot, so I was trying to make those there. And then these down parts, those are tassels / like chains. So I was trying to emulate it as best I can using just like a bunch of dashes. And I think, it kind of worked. I think it was as good as it was gonna get, to be quite honest. We're trying to create 3D effects on a 2D dimension. It doesn't work out the greatest that way, but I think it looks relatively good. And then I was just adding some more depth, so just some shadows kind of down below, kind of break out some spots, push the jacket further back with some black, and then just kind of went around and did some more depth kind of everywhere, just making sure all those details really popped. Next, we're going on the face. I was half debating on giving myself like a wooden texture on my face, but the one that I was, like the Nutcracker I was looking at, he really didn't have like a woody texture. He looked more porcelain, so I decided just to go with a normal like kind of beauty face in that sense. And then all Nutcrackers have like just epic mustaches and beards, and we had to try. I was half tempted to do this part just in paper, just a paper there, but that was like, nah, we're not gonna do that. The beard, yeah, that can be paper. So here's where I'm trying to cut it out and try to measure where it's gonna go and stuff like that. And then I decided to take just my white liquid liner on top of it, because it's got like some of the paint from earlier like on there. It kind of creates like that kind of skin texture thing. And I decided just to kind of put some texture onto the mustache, and then underneath just some shadows, so it looks like it's not like my skin, it's kind of popping off. And I did the same thing on the brows, just kind of make them depth. And then I tried giving myself like those kind of doll-like eyes that kind of like shut, like if you have them at a certain angle. So that's what we were trying to do there. And then I decided to do lashes because it looked weird without lashes. But first we need to do a little bit more dimension, and then put on some lash glue onto the paper and hold it to my face. And then we're throwing on our white wig. I did not mean to do 2 looks in a row with the same white wig, but it is what it is. And then I threaded some bobby pins into this hat that I made. And was it a bit too big for the look? Yes. Do I still love how this look turned out? Absolutely. I had a blast. I was in the mirror just pretending to open and close my mouth like a weird little nutcracker. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this. If you did, give this video a big old thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!